Welcome to Marketplace with Charles. On Marketplace, we turn your dreams into reality. Marketplace is brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, bringing out the beauty in you, as well as Kuwisa Lodge, situated at the heart of Mabalungwa Nature Reserve, where tranquility is the name of the game. If you want tranquility, visit us at Kuwisa Lodge, and you will never regret that you have done so. You'll come back refreshed and replenished. On Marketplace, we aim to empower you and encourage you with the right tools that you need to move closer to you achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we bring you insight from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith. Today, we meet a man that runs a business that transcends time, and it will continue to do so as long as man remains on the planet Earth. No matter how much technology advances, people will always be born and people will always die. The funeral business or the funeral industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry across the world. It does not matter whether the dead are buried, cremated, or whatever ceremonial disposal of the dead is practiced. This industry will never run out of business. It is a business that I would love to be in. All major kinds of financial services providers that you can think of want a stake in this business, be it banks, investment houses, and even your local clothing retailers do not want to lose out in this lucrative opportunity. Perhaps it is a business that you have been contemplating for a while but do not know how to go about it. My guest today will give you insights into what this business is all about. It will help you how you can establish your own funeral parlor. Mr. Matsimbi, Sam, or should I call you Sam?
Yeah, better.
Is it easier to call you Sam or is it easier to call you Mr. Matsimbi?
It's easier to call me Sam.
Sam, welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thank you, Charles, and very good afternoon to the viewers.
It's my pleasure to host you. You know, we host different people on Marketplace. We host people with great businesses. They come and sit down here. We talk great stuff. We will also host motivational speakers. But we haven't hosted someone who's from the funeral undertaker. You know, this is for the first time.
Thank you.
And I hope I'm not on my deathbed.
Not yet.
Not yet. Listen, can you give me a brief background of your business, Funeral Assist?
Funeral Assist is a business that actually I started in 1997.
Yes.
When it started as Matsimbi Funerals. It was easier at that time, but with time, around 2000, 2001, I felt the need to grow and to actually leave a legacy one day when I end up leaving this world. And I needed a name that will actually, transcend across, racial lines and all cultural lines. So instead of using the family name, then I decided to change into Funeral Assist 24. One with the aim of providing services, for 24 hours, making sure that we are available, we are reachable on a 24-hour basis. So that was the main thing. And later, if people might want to buy into the stake, into the company, or maybe buy a franchise, it will be easy for them to use the trading name other than using their family name. Yes, that's why the name Funeral Assist 24.
But how did you start this business?
It came as an inspiration when I looked around the townships and the way things were done. Because, when we were growing up, the only two dominant companies in the country were Doves, Safas, and also this Afbob. Because Safas in other places used to operate as, Doves used to operate as Safas. and there was Avbob. So those were the two major businesses. But with the changing of times and change of population and the trends in the societies, I felt the need to come into the space, to provide such kind of services.
And how did your family took you when you told them you are going to this business? Because I remember one day I sat at my home under a huge tree and I was discussing. I said, I want to start a funeral undertaker. The first thing was, do you want to kill us? What was the reaction of your family? Especially your wife as well.
Yeah.
Did she feel secured enough?
It was a great challenge, in the sense that when I first pitched this through, well, I spoke to my mother, I spoke to my elder sister, of which they gave me the green light. But with my wife, it was a challenge because, with the stigma that has always been attached to dead bodies, and the cultural, boundaries and stuff like that, when you touch a dead body, this and that might happen to you. That has always been a challenge, because I remember one day I came back from work, and it was a challenge for me just to get close to her, and so
Yeah.
I didn't understand at first, but with time I had to find a way of, trying to educate her, about this whole thing. Yeah, because it's something that I love. I love doing this.
You love dead bodies.
I just love providing this service. I love working in the industry, and for the past 20 years, I've been in this game, so I understand exactly what is happening.
But
And I'm not about to quit.
what was your feeling when you first saw a dead body in your own mortuary?
It's a bit scary, but sometimes you need to think beyond the dead body. That what you are dealing with there, it's nothing like a spook or a ghost. You are dealing with a real human being, but the only difference is that the spirit is gone, the soul is gone, has left the body, so you're remaining with the body. And in order for the family to have closure, you have to preserve the body. You have to make sure that you work on the body, on the corpse, and give them, a good final image that will make them remember, their dearly departed in a good way. You understand?
It's all about memory, a great
all
memory.
about great memory.
Yes.
That the last time we saw our dad, when we saw our mother, she was like this, our father was like this and that. Unlike, when you open the coffin and then the eyes are open, the mouth is like this, the face doesn't look great. It adds to the trauma and then the painful, memories.
Take me through the process.
Yeah.
Here's somebody passed on from the hospital.
Yes.
Is lying on the hospital bed.
Yes.
Can you take me through the process from the hospital bed into your mortuary until when the family comes to collect the remains?
Okay. If somebody dies in a hospital, firstly, the doctor or the nurses that are present in the ward, they'll certify the death. Then they'll contact the mortuary staff, because most of the hospitals around the country, more especially public hospitals, they have mortuaries. They'll contact the mortuary staff, who will then come and remove the body to the mortuary. But before the body is removed, the staff in the ward, the nursing staff, they prepare the body, make sure it's clean, make sure it's properly wrapped and properly named, for ease of reference. Then the body will be moved to the mortuary. And in many cases, before the body is moved to the mortuary, the family is notified that, please note that, so and so is no more. And there's a way in which they do it, so that to prepare the family, to accept this tragedy. But after the body has been moved to the mortuary, then the family will have to go to the mortuary to do the proper identification, sort out the documentation, and then they'll call us. It's either we'll meet with them at the mortuary, the hospital mortuary, or we go with them, depending on which one is easier for them.
Yeah.
And once we get there, we sort out the paperwork, we fill in the forms, the necessary forms, and then we'll remove the body. But before we remove, the hospital, as a matter of requirement, they need the certificate of competence. It's a compliance certificate. It's a license for this type of work. They'll need that to prove that they're giving the body, they're handing over the body to a reliable business. Then from there, we'll move to the mortuary where we'll store the remains. Then we'll go to the Department of Home Affairs to register the death. Home Affairs, more especially in our country, in South Africa, they'll issue the death certificate and the burial order.
Yeah.
Which you use, to make bookings for this, for the grave.
For the grave, yes.
Yes. And then from there, during that time, is the time that the family will go and sit down and decide how they want to dispose of the remains. If they want to go through the route of cremation, then they'll go and do cremation. Then there's documentation to that effect. There's a process that we need to embark on.
Yeah.
And then there's also, if they want to do a burial, then we'll follow due processes in terms of booking for the graves, the municipal cemeteries or private cemeteries. And then we discuss the funding for that whole project at that particular time.
Okay. I understand there are times, I don't know how true is this. I understand sometimes you do get bodies which are not completely dead. I don't know how true is that. Dead but not dead. Certified dead, but in the middle of the night, you'll hear some funny noise in the mortuaries. When I went for Bible training, they also took us to Doves, just to see the dead body. We have a look at it so that we acquaint ourselves as pastors to the dead bodies, because we'll be burying them for life anyway. And some of the people who were there, they said some of the people who come here, it looks like they're certified dead and they're actually dead, but the spirit hasn't left. I don't know how true is that.
Well, in my years of experience in the industry, I haven't encountered such a thing.
Okay.
But with other palaces, I remember, I think 5 years ago, if my memory still serves me well, somewhere in Orlando, there was such an incident where somebody died. I think they collected the body in the Val, and they stored the body in Soweto. And after some few days, they heard some noise in the fridge. And when they went to investigate, the person was alive. And it was also in the papers. I think Daily Sun also, captured that story. Yeah, but it never made too much noise. So the person resurrected there. But by the time the body was removed, it was dead. Because the process is, if in case somebody dies at home, you'll need to get, health medical officers, paramedics, to come and certify the body.
Because sometimes some people are not really dead. Some have just fainted. And if you don't have a professional to certify the death, you could be taking a person who's still alive to the mortuary.
Yes. That is why it's a requirement. Before you remove a dead body from, more especially a private residence, you need to have the paramedics, either private or public, state paramedics, to come and certify the body before you take the body away.
You have been in this business for more than 20 years.
Correct.
How have you assessed the market to be behaving?
The market, at the moment, I can say it's fairly stable. But there have been times when, let's say around 2005, somewhere there, maybe between 1994 to 2005, 2006, 7, somewhere there, before the introduction of the ARVs. Yes, I think a lot of people were dying, from the AIDS scourge.
Yeah.
So that prompted a lot of people to think, that there's a lot of money to make in the funeral industry, more especially quick cash, and of which it was not the case. This business is just like any other business. You need to be disciplined. You need to know how, you spend your money and how you make a profit at the end of the day.
Yes, you basically, you do not make money out of more deaths. You make more money when people are still alive.
It's in two ways.
Yes.
I can say so. Because when you conduct a funeral or a burial,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that are required. Suppose you claim now somebody has been paying a monthly premium.
Yes.
And then they die. When they die, they are the principal member, or the policy holder. As soon as they die, no money is going to come through for the book.
And you're still liable to bury the...
But you'll still go and claim from your underwriter.
Yeah.
So suppose you claim for 15,000 rand. Out of that 15,000 rand, you have to use that money to cover the cost of the burial. The profit might come very little. But beyond that, you can't get anything from that same person because they are gone. So the money basically lies in the book. Because if your book is large, you've got reliable policy holders, they trust you, you trust them.
So basically, you want everybody to be alive.
I think that will help. It's less stress because when they're alive, they pay. You pay the underwriter their portion. You remain with your administrative fees. Then you are able to run. But because death is inevitable, somewhere along the line, somebody will have to die. And when they die, you must be prepared as an undertaker to provide the service based on your contract, based on what you have promised them. And the family also must be at ease to deal with death during that time.
In your own honest opinion, is there still a space for me to come back and occupy in this industry?
There's still space. But the kind of space that is there now needs innovation.
Okay.
It needs people who can think ahead. It needs people who are not like copycat. Not people who just come because they've seen so and so doing like this. People who interrogate the market.
Yes.
People who check, who do research, proper research in the market and see how can they close the gaps within the funeral industry. Because most of the things that we do are not necessarily, but just that somebody somewhere set the trend. And because the community likes it, the society likes it, then we start following. Like in the past, people used to carry the dead with their hands. They'll walk to the cemetery with the coffin on their shoulders. But then the cars were introduced. Then the horse carts and other things were introduced. Now it becomes a trend in the market that when people come, then you say, no, I'll give you this. I'll offer you a hearse like this. And then a monas car. Then a bus for people who have come to support you.
So some other countries also hire the monas.
I haven't encountered that, experienced that, but maybe, you might, it's possible that you might have such kind
Let's talk of Funeral Assist 24.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you operate? What do you have within Funeral 24 Assist in terms of the payment and the benefits?
What we have, first and foremost, we are a funeral services provider, but at the same time, we sell financial products.
Yes. I want us to talk about the financial product.
Yes, we sell funeral policies, but the way we have packaged them, it's not like what the traditional insurance companies are offering.
Yeah.
Because the basic aim here is to provide for the burial of the deceased when death strikes. So it's mainly in terms of merchandise, what you are going to get, like the coffin, the hearse, the family car, the tent, the chairs, the tables, the restrooms, the funeral programs, the wreath, and arrangement of the grave, preparation of the deceased. So we combine all of that into one service, one package. So, for instance, our entry level for now, it's starting at 220 rands
A month.
a month.
For how many people?
It covers main member plus 9 other people.
Okay.
No age limit. But there's a waiting period of 3 months.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, that's what we basically offer. But we do have other packages, for the higher end of the market. But what we are concentrating on is LSM 1 to 4. Because when we do our research, we have discovered that most of the people who struggle when death strikes, it's people, our own people, in the townships, in the rural areas, people who are doing menial jobs. People that like the cashiers, even people who are professional because of the kind of lifestyle that we are, living today. So it does affect our savings and a whole lot of other things. Some of the things are unavoidable.
It must be very, very tough to see a corpse every day of your life. Not only one. And different corpses of different shapes, different sizes, different colors, creed, How important will you say it is for Funeral Assist 24 and any other funeral parlor to have psychologists or pastors or inspirational speakers, whatever you want to call it, to come and talk to your staff on a regular basis? Because I realize most of the staff, I don't know if it's so with you, but most of the staff who are dealing with this industry, they end up drinking a lot because they want to forget what they have seen at work.
I think that is a very important matter to discuss. Whichever way, when you view a corpse, whether the person died peacefully or is as a result of trauma, they died in a car accident, or maybe they burned, or there's a gunshot, or maybe stabbing, whichever way, your subconscious deals with that most of the time. You might come out like to be brave, but at the back of your mind, you start to have questions and asking yourself, why did this person have to die? And more especially like this.
Yeah.
Was it time? Why do they have to die early? Why do they have to die young? This person left a young family. He just left a young wife. He just left young children. How are they going to survive without their, the breadwinner? And even if it's not the breadwinner, but his presence or her presence in the family is very much important. It keeps life going. So in a way, we get traumatized. But most of the time, such kind of things, we don't talk about them because it's like part of the jungle. It's part of what we have to go through. But it's a very important thing that we should have psychologists, we should have pastors, spiritual guidance. You need debriefing. And that's why most of the time when someone comes to view a corpse and they cry, we allow them to cry. We give them space. We make sure that we give them the necessary support. And we actually encourage people to cry so that this thing comes out, the pain comes out. Because what I've experienced with myself, that you get to a point where you cry until you don't cry anymore. Yes, the tears that just don't come out. And that's the point where you start seeing things differently and you start dealing with the reality. Because most of the time, people, because of the emotional state in which they are, they tend to make mistakes. there's a lot of strife, especially in families during this time of bereavement. People fight, people, talk anyhow. They ill consider other people's feelings and and all of other things. So it's very much important to have professionals as and when we grow. We have to have professionals, and the trends are changing. The market for in the next 10 years will be our youth today.
Let's talk about Funeral Assist 24. Somebody wants to get hold of you for your services.
Yes.
Somebody wants to start his own funeral parlor and need your assistance. Somebody wants to buy into your vision of franchising. How do they get hold of you?
Firstly, we have a website, www.funeralassist24.co.za. We're also available via email, info@funeralassist24.co.za, or my direct email address, which is sam@funeralassist24.co.za. Alternatively, they can get hold of us on the telephone, 010-330-0247. If somebody is phoning from outside the country, obviously they'll have to put a +27 82 708 2304.
And I am Charles Ngobeni signing off on Marketplace with Charles. You can get hold of me on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni. You can go on my Facebook fan page and like me, or you can subscribe on my YouTube channel, Charles Ngobeni. It has been my pleasure being with you. I hope you have learned something today. On this note, I can't leave you just like that. I'd rather leave you with Matsimbi, just to make you smile a little bit. God bless you, and see you next time.
I want to give this advice to all women out there in the world. I love women and I appreciate women so much. That's why you will even find me talking of my mother most of the times, because I'm one person, I don't talk of the things I don't know. That's the reason why you will never find me talking about my father. I don't know him. What is it that I will say about him? The only father I know is God, the father to the fatherless like myself. Women out there in the world, the reason why most of women are missing the answers to their prayers is because of the makeup. And else are the weaves they put on. By the way, just imagine you are in church, it's 9 a.m., you are praying in church. Oh, Father God, I pray that bless me with Mercedes-Benz, let it be black. Everyone knows that even in the days of Daniel, it took 21 days for him to receive his prayer. After church, you go home. Night, you're going to wash off the makeup. And you take off the weave. You're going to sleep. 12 p.m., the angels are coming with that Mercedes-Benz, black as it is, the way you prayed for it. As the angels came and they found that, this is not the one who prayed. Why? Because you are not as you were in church. So most of you are missing the answer to their prayers. But you know what? We love you so much, women, and we appreciate whatever you're going through. And we say Happy Women's Day to everyone. And we say to you, get me to your events on 061 099 2741.